All right, so this is always something fun to look at. Today we're going to be reviewing some of the craziest stadium dimensions in MLB history, going back all the way to the early 1900s, starting with Yankee Stadium. This is 1928 version, and right off the bat, you want to hit a home run to left field, it's 400 feet, 400 feet to dead left field. Left center field is 460, dead center is 490, right center is 429, and then right field, there is a lot of forgiveness there if you're a left-handed batter. 295 all the way down the line, 350 right center. So you better be a left-handed hitter in Yankee Stadium in the 1920s. Let me just tell you that. And then the warning track with the grass after the warning track. It makes the warning track look like an actual track, that kind of just goes around. When you see them at high schools, the oval-shaped things, that's what it looks like, but that's how they did it, and Yankee Stadium went through the ringer, man. I mean, it had, I believe, it might be the only MLB ballpark that has had two major seating expansions, like major. Normally you'll see a stadium with one, not even sometimes, but the Yankee Stadium went through a big seating expansion early in its life, and then in 1973, it had that crazy expansion where they made the upper deck massive, and then, of course, it gets demolished in the early 2000s. But yeah, that is a crazy one, and I would not want to be a left-handed hitter. I mean, they're moving in fences now, when it's 379 to the gaps. They're moving in the fences now. This is the Polo grounds. So, of course, dude, this is what I wish with Polo grounds. I wish they still had it around so we could have a home run derby there. I mean, come on. All right, look at it. 279 down the left field line, but it's vertical. So it goes 279, 315, 360, 414, 479, 455 with the bullpens in the outfield. Oh, it's amazing. And then 483 to dead center with the monuments in play with kind of that weird famous center field seating at the Polo grounds. And then to right field, it's even more shallow. It is 258 right down the line, 294, 339, 395, 440, 449, and it is an amazing design. Polo grounds is always going to be a classic. There's no debating it. This was the 1952 version of it. And there are some real sad photos of Polo grounds getting demolished. I actually want to do a video on that, but yeah, Polo grounds, just the overall look of it, completely unique. You're never going to see a stadium like it again, and it literally is a football stadium, and they said, listen, normally when it comes to multi-purpose stadiums, we're going to move the seating. Well, they just said, you know what, it's whatever, we're just going to leave it, and we're going to make the dimensions ridiculous, and that's exactly what happened. I mean, when you look at it, designed for baseball, it just doesn't make any sense, but that's what makes it great. And yeah, the Polo grounds, definitely crazy. Next, it is Memorial Coliseum, which recently, just a few years ago, underwent a huge renovation. They put in brand new seating, and it looks really nice now. But this was back in 1959 when it had baseball, just a great multi-purpose stadium. Let's take a look at its dimensions. All right, left field line 251. They have to install a makeshift 42-foot high net because it's so short. It's just like Fenway, it's so short you have to have a big wall. And then it goes to 320. Left center is 320, but then it jets all the way out, and then you can see actually the, fake wall gives way to the real wall of Memorial Coliseum, and then another fake wall has to be installed all throughout right field, and they have two different ones. In 1958, they made it way further back for whatever reason to where right field was 440. Right field was 440 feet. That is just great for left-handed hitters. It's amazing. But you can see the normal distance was 380, which is kind of more so average of the time. And then way down the line in right field was 300. So it was very short. And Memorial Coliseum, it's just a mess of seating. I mean, it really is. That's all you can say about it. How, like, for a baseball team to play games there, it's impossible. You're never going to fill it. There's too many home games, let alone its overall seating configuration. Now, I don't know if it was a celebrity softball game or something. There was something they played there in, like, the mid-2000s, and it was on ESPN. I remember it. I might try and find a photo and throw it up there, but yeah. So that is the Memorial Coliseum for baseball. Next, we've got Sun Life Stadium, which this has got to be the poster child of multi-purpose stadiums. It's just the seating. The orange seating always does it for me, but it had some crazy dimensions when you look at down the left field line, 330 with a high fence. That's pretty normal. Left center, 360, okay. Then it jets all the way out to 334 in basically dead center with a little crevice. And then to right center, it's 404, 385, and 445 at Sun Life Stadium. And this is another stadium that has gone through a massive renovation, and you can't even tell. I mean, they did such a great job with the Hard Rock, renovation on that stadium now. It is really nice, but yeah, maybe a little bit more tame in terms of those dimensions, but still, I mean, 330 to dead center or to left center, that's unheard of now. You're never going to see anything like that. This is the Baker Bowl, so the big thing with the Baker Bowl is the 60-foot fence in right field, which is taller pretty easily. It clears Fenway Park. Fenway Park is 37 feet high. Baker Bowl is almost double it. Well, I wouldn't say double it. What is 37 times 2? 74, I think. I mean, I'm smart with math, guys. What can I say? I think it is 74, but 60 feet, so it is significantly taller than 37-foot Fenway Green Monster. But when you look at it, it doesn't really look that tall. I don't know if it's an optical illusion, but when I read that the Baker Bowl had a 60-foot fence compared to Fenway's being only 37, I thought we would see something massive, and it's like, I thought it would look bigger than that. I don't know, but it is 60 feet tall, and it is 285 down the right field line, but it jets way out to dead center at 412. Then it has kind of a weird crevice in between the stands and the overall fence, and then 342 down the left field line, a lot more tame, a lot more normal, with a standard lower deck seating for the Baker Bowl. The next one, probably the most bland thing you can look at, Arlington Stadium in 1985. Take a look at this. Left field line 330, right field line 330, left center field 380, right center field 380, dead center 400. Can we have a little bit of creativity here? I mean, seriously, somebody was ranking all of these stadiums, and one of the ranking criterias was like the dimensions, the uniqueness of the dimensions, and I think this scored a 1 or a 0. And I was like, how is that possible? Well, I guess that's, when it's basically the exact same. It's a mirror. Some people actually might like that. It might be aesthetically pleasing for some people if it's the same. It mirrors both sides. But yeah, to me, it's very boring, and it makes it extremely bland, kind of like, your normal cookie cutter concrete donut stadium in the 80s, all the multi-purpose ones. Next, we have the Metrodome. So in left field, there was some type of plexiglass that they put up because it was 343. I don't think 343 is crazy short to where they need to be installing plexiglass to try and make it harder to hit a home run. But I guess that's what they did. And I mean, really, there's not much crazy in terms of the Metrodome. 408 to dead center is pretty standard. That's what you'll see with all ballparks today. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty modern dimensions. 367 to the gap, 85? Maybe that's a little bit, that's a little bit deeper to left center field. you're not going to see 385 get to a gap nowadays unless it's a crazy deep ballpark. But even the crazy deep ballparks now are getting crushed by the idea of moving the fences in. There were at least 3 or 4 stadiums that moved fences in this past offseason. The offseason before this one, there were 3 or 4. There's always someone. Someone is always going to move the fences in. That's why it was so surprising to see the Orioles move it out and actually move their fence up as well. They did a double whammy, moving it out and moving it up. The next one is Braves Field. So probably the smallest. It was known as the Beehive. That's a great name. That is a literal perfect name for this stadium based on how small it is. 337 down the left field line, 355 to the gaps, 390 to dead center, 320 down the right field line. Very, very small. Braves Field in 1946, or the Beehive, whatever you want to call it. The next one, Forbes Field. You can see 406 to left center. Ouch. 408 to right center. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, maybe if you hit it right down the right field line, 300, that's where you want to go. But this kind of reminds me of Fenway and the pesky pull Forbes Field does with the right field configuration where, you know, maybe if you're a casual fan, you think, oh my goodness, the pesky pull. What an amazing home run opportunity. Folks, the right field setup at Fenway Park is horrible for left-handed hitters. Horrible. It's one of the worst stadiums for left-handed hitters, even with pesky pull, because it jets out so far. It has an extremely deep right field at Fenway. Extremely deep. Yeah, you might get lucky and go down the pole one time a year, but overall, it's very bad. But Forbes Field, I mean, you're talking 406 to left center, 406 to right center. You're not going to be seeing very many home runs when it comes to that. But guys, I just wanted to go over some interesting stadium dimensions. We really don't have very many unique dimensions nowadays. I would say the two that come to mind, the removal of Tal's Hill. It was 436 to dead center at Minute Maid. They removed that. They make it standard, like 410 to dead center or whatever it was. And also, they took away the hill, which sucks. And then the other one that got taken away was the Triples Alley, which we love at San Francisco, where you hit the ball into right field. It was very hard to hit a home run, but if you hit it there, it's a guaranteed triple. You know, there are big dimensions at places like Coors Field, but they did that on purpose because of the altitude, and it actually ended up hurting because there's more ground to cover for the outfielders. It makes it even more of an offensive environment, but most places are moving the fences in. We've seen Citi Field, which was originally a big pitcher's park, move the fences in. We've seen Marlins Park, which is now Lone Depot Park, move the fences in. And this past offseason, Rogers Center, a lot of people surprised by that. They slightly moved the fences in because they added bullpens, or like they renovated bullpens out there. So during their renovation, they slightly moved the fences in as well. So that's kind of the standard wave we're seeing throughout the MLB. They want more offense. They want more home runs. And that is what they are trying to create. I mean, they tried to use different balls last year to get more home runs. But guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description.